All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Diamond Zone. Happy Monday. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. Man, we had a jam-packed weekend with three-way calls, launch calls. I mean, it's crazy what happened this last week. It's as far as the momentum. A lot of great new people getting involved all around the country. Did a launch call for a group in Kenya. In UK, we got 2 people launching in the UK. We got people now in Nigeria. I mean, this thing is really blowing up. It's all because of you guys really following the system of three-way calls, launch calls, and getting people started. It's amazing what happens when you plant the seed. You know what my favorite saying is, right? Tell people what to do and work with the ones that do it. Okay, and when you plant the seed of people getting their first 2 people in 24 hours, you watch how fast some people just go, okay, 24 hours, matter of fact, I got to get my first 2. And then your first week, you got to get your first, right? You get to team developer. Okay, it's a matter of not being fearful to tell people what they need to do. You need to do a family pack. Why? Well, here's why. You got to get your first 2 in 24 hours. Doesn't mean that if they don't do it, you disown them, but you never know. You may have a racehorse there. So we have a lot of people just automatically getting their first 2 people, and that's got to be, you know, we have a lot of numbers coming in. But from the numbers coming in, okay, what you always got to look at is how many people do you have duplicating? And the duplication process usually stops with us giving them the wrong information or not creating urgency. Okay, and I think everybody now knows, right, with the momentum this company has, there is urgency for people to talk to their people. Because we all know, we've all had experience, I'm sure most of us, that we talk to somebody a little bit too late because somebody else already talked to them. Okay, and that's something that's just me. I'm very competitive. I just want to make sure that I have touched everybody that I know about this opportunity. Okay, so before we get started, guys, just a couple of things. Obviously, okay, we keep promoting Denver. Okay, you see the flyer. Want to make sure you guys all promote it and just really let this thing go viral because this is going to be a great event at the end of this month. Also, the week closes out today, right? You all know we're on weekly pay cycles. I know some of you are really pushing that diamond ranking. Some people, we have Bill Davies. If he's on the call, Bill Davies yesterday went grand diamond. Okay, this pay cycle, grand diamond. So Bill, congratulations. Brand new. You're going to hear from Bill later on this week. Also, if you were on the call yesterday, we want everybody to save the dates for what we think is going to be the biggest event ever to hit World Global Network in Las Vegas, June 23rd through the 25th. Okay, 23rd through the 25th. It's going to be a 2-day extravaganza of training, recognition. I believe, and this will be announced at the Palms Hotel, with a great event Saturday night. We've rented out a nightclub and the whole entire pool area of the Palms for our after party. So this is going to be phenomenal, guys. You want to make sure all the details will be coming your way. But one detail I want to make sure that everybody shoots for is this. On that Friday night, there's going to be a diamond dinner. Now, let me tell you how Lisa and I have always thought about our journey in network marketing. We never, ever wanted to be left out of any type of event with recognition. That just, for whatever reason, that just motivated us. If there was a cruise, we wanted to be on it. If there was a dinner, we wanted to be at it. And so everybody needs to focus in on getting themselves to diamond. Okay, before this event. And you all know diamond is somebody that does $10,000 in their pay leg in a pay cycle. So, and we're going to go through that later on this week, how to get to diamond, how to structure, how to have the mindset to go diamond. The whole event at the Palms Hotel. Yes, the whole event will be at the Palms Hotel. Okay, so that's coming up June 23rd to 25th. I cannot wait. First of all, I love Las Vegas. And second of all, I believe we'll have 2,000 people at this particular event because it's going to be phenomenal. Okay, so before I go into my training, I was just, Stephanie's always one of the first people on the call, and she was talking about a trade show they did this weekend. So Anne-Marie, just come on, just tell people a little bit about your background and tell us a little bit about the trade show and maybe some of the tips or some of the things that you experienced at the trade show.
Awesome. Well, good morning. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, so I come from corporate America. I have a technology background over 30 years, and we opened our eyes to network marketing a little over almost 15 years ago when some of you guys may know my story, when one of the senior vice presidents of my company, very, very large software company, misforecasted commissions. So my husband and I were both sales executives at the time, and we were both out 6 figures in commissions each, both of us. So we didn't have a plan B. Saving for college for our 4 girls was not plan B. And so our friends introduced us to network marketing, and we've always had an additional stream of income ever since. So that's part of my why. But yeah, so this trade show, I'm very picky with trade shows. I think there's really good benefits to going to some that are the right ones. There's oftentimes you can go to them and there's just it just doesn't make sense. But this particular one, yeah, Stephanie, my friend, we're on a team together, and she is an esthetician. She owns her own business, very successful. And she said, hey, look, and she's like, since this is a perfect marriage, I mean, she marries her Hilo business with this, and she's doing phenomenal. She's just like, look, why don't you come, and I've got a corner spot. We'll just make you part of the booth. I'll be the only company there that's not having to do with estheticians. So when I walked into this convention center, I had my daughter, I had her daughter, and then one of our other team members' daughter there. They happened to all dance together. We walk in, and we were literally, it was crazy. We were the only ones that didn't have to do with anything with your skin or hair or anything like that, fish out of water. So we set up on this just pristine site, and I think positioning is everything. And I brought my monitor. We have these beautiful brochures that we get from the marketing site, big bowl of any type of candy that was silver, kind of matching, and we were all decked out in our Hilo. And I scrolled the new 5-minute video. I scrolled a couple of the Fox News segments. And I also scrolled Antonio DeRosa when he does, I don't know if you've seen the video where he's sketching the old classic Hilo and the new one. And so my husband and I just put that on a scroll so that it would just roll for hours. And we had that going on a really big monitor on the corner. And literally the conversations with all of these people were that perfect marriage, right? I wasn't out there to ask them to stop doing what they're doing or stop liking what they're liking. It was all about complementing what they do from a health and wellness perspective. And that's really where the conversations took off. There were several that wanted the device because of what the features were, but I would say probably about maybe 45, maybe almost close to 50% of who I was talking to was really identifying with that additional stream. And I'll tell you what, it was probably one of the most successful trade shows that I've attended. And a lot of it just has to do with what we have. Our product is not like anything else out there. And that's the very thing that they kept saying. And if people were walking around with a wearable, I was asking them, they kind of come up and I say, what do you like about your Apple Watch? Some people are like, well, I kind of don't. Oh, really? What is it that you don't like? And then we would talk about, well, what if it could, and what if it could do that? And I would just start dropping features, and they were like, what? And that's how the conversations kind of went on. And so it was fun. People were identifying with it from all different aspects. These people are there to change and impact people's lives. And so again, being able to share a complementary product that is impacting and changing people's lives. It was a very, very open conversation. And it also helped that we had our 3 daughters there, and I did a Facebook Live from there. And it was just neat to hear these girls, my daughter included, talking about what their mommies and daddies are doing with the Helo and how excited they are to represent it and what it actually meant to them. And it was neat to hear that. I didn't, pose them and tell them what to say. This is something that they feel from themselves and from their parents being involved. It was really neat.
Very cool. Very cool. What I always say, Anne Marie or everybody listening, all these different types of events, as long as you're around people, and if you could just hear Anne Marie just having fun with it and just going out there and telling your story, you're going to do business. And that's really what trade shows are all about, getting you really good at telling your story, matching the opportunity to the people you're talking to, right? People walking by go, hey, does your Apple Watch pay you? What are you talking about? Well, let me show you the device that pays you. It's getting out there. And so, Anne Marie, I want to thank you for doing that. But we're going to be going over a whole thing in Las Vegas of how to do trade shows correctly. We're going to cover every aspect of this business for 2 days. Awesome. So I want to go into the training that I want to do today. And first of all, guys, tonight at 6 o'clock, we're doing another opportunity call. We do them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays at 6 o'clock Pacific time. So make sure, it's important because the attendance really shoots up. It really shoots up when you take that flyer and share it with everybody else to promote the call. So today I want to talk about the reality check for financial expectations. Some of you may have seen this training before, but it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, if you're taking this journey, you're going to hear this training a lot differently. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are on this call that are brand new, and let me share with you, our system works. If you fall into the system and you do the necessary things with the right attitude, this always works. There's no doubt. But, people always ask me, I had this conversation yesterday, Jeff, this is a numbers game. I go, duh, yes, it's a numbers game. Of course it's a numbers game. Okay, you guys, if you can, mute me out. You know what, let me just do this. There we go. Of course it's a numbers game, right? And show me one business that's not a numbers game. Okay, every business is a numbers game. But here's the thing, it's having the right expectations, right? In other words, I'm brand new in the business. I'm going to be spare time. I'm going to do this every once in a while, and I want to make $25,000 a month. Okay, realistic or not realistic? Unrealistic expectation. It's based on what you want to put into this. And when you bring a new person into the business, you got to get what their expectation is. We've talked about this a lot, but I'm telling you, this is how you get people moving quickly, right? If someone really has desire, okay, I was on a call with somebody that Bill Davies had me on with this weekend, and this person said, listen, I have to make $5,000 this month. I said, what are you willing to do? He goes, whatever you tell me. I go, get your first 2 in 24 hours. Did it. I said, we're going to get you, now we're going to do your launch call tonight. And we're going to get you a team developer tonight. He goes, what do you want me to do? I said, put 30 people on the launch call. Okay, he just texted me. He goes, I have invited 80. Okay, 80, 40, he'll have 20 on there. This is how I do it. Whatever you invite, cut it in half and cut it in half again, and that's usually what you'll have show. So if you invite 10, 5, you'll have 2.5 people show. Okay, always 2.5. Okay, it won't be 3, it'll be 2.5 people. Okay, so this is how you have to understand this whole business. So I have somebody that wants to run, right? But he has a realistic expectation of what he could accomplish because he has that desire, right? So you just can't, it's like anything. You have to run your business like a business. But in network marketing, you have to understand what you're being paid for. What you're paid for in this business is not to understand how Helo works. It's not to understand the compensation plan. You're paid for your vision. Okay, you know why? You know why you're paid so handsomely to share your vision? Because most people don't have it. The only vision most people see, because they have their blinders on, is what they're involved in. And what they're involved in is not getting them what they want. So now here you come, whether it be at a trade show, a one-on-one, talking to your family and friends, whatever it may be, and all you're doing is sharing with people where you're going. But let me ask you a question. Doesn't vision take courage? Right? We're always worried about what people think. And I always say the day you stop caring what other people think is the day you are on your way to wealth. I promise you that. Okay? Because some people, what was so-and-so think about me? Who cares? Do you really think so-and-so cares that much? No, all so-and-so knows is he's protecting his territory. So it takes courage when you share your vision with excitement and enthusiasm. And here's the thing that will knock most people out of this business: the consistency and the stamina to keep doing it. Well, Jeff, I tried the business. Well, how long have you been involved? Well, I did it for 30 days. Really? What in your life have you ever done for only 30 days that you became successful at? We just brought in these, two twins, identical twins that were on the PGA golf tour. Okay, you'll meet these guys, Samantha and Joe. Okay, and I asked the question, I go, to become successful and get on the PGA, did you have to have a little stamina? Did you have to get up and hit golf balls every single day, right? When other people were going to high school parties, you were out there where? At the range, hitting every golf ball again and again and again, right? That's stamina. To do anything well, you got to have a game plan. You got to have realistic expectations. And I tell people very straightforward, unless you're willing to have the stamina for 18 months, I don't even know if I let you start. You really say that, Jeff? Well, yes, I do. This is an 18-month commitment to change your financial situation. I'd rather be upfront and transparent with people. Okay, because I believe that's a fact. Now, does that mean you're not going to get results for 18 months? Of course not. You see some of the results people are getting here in their first 30, 60, 90 days. I'm talking about building a foundation for your future. 18 months. See, this is really what you're paid for in this kind of business. Okay, now when you look at World Global Networks, you got to have the right, you're going to be in need of an adjustment if you thought you could create wealth without hard work. Okay, see, this is the stuff that makes me crazy. Okay, oh, people are, this is get rich quick. No, I work hard. Okay, but now let me define that. Compared to what? Jeff and Lisa, you work so hard. Jeremy Roma, you work so hard. Romasio Fulcher, you work so hard. Chet and Atita, you work so hard. Compared to what? You know what working hard was? Okay, talk to Anne Marie. Working hard was me working 14 hours a day for somebody else. Working hard was being told when to take a vacation, when to go to the bathroom. That was working hard. And working those types of hours for 14 years and not being paid what I was worth. So that's why I always say, Jeff, you work really hard. Why? Because I did a 3-way call today. You did 11 3-way calls? Yeah, 11 3-way calls took me about 3 hours. Do you see what I'm saying? Compared to what? 14 hours a day, not seeing my family? And I did the 3-way call at home. Oh, and you did how many Zoom meetings yesterday? I did 3. Ooh, I did 3 3-way calls. That took another 3 hours. So I worked 6 hours yesterday. See what I'm talking about? Compared to what? This is hard work. Are you kidding? And I have the opportunity to change people's lives. I'm working right now. Okay, but when you love what you do, is it really work? So I want to define hard work. Hard work means being consistent. That's all that means. Okay, you thought you could work part-time and earn a full-time income. Okay, well, let me share with you. In network marketing, okay, you can work part-time and earn a full-time income. It's all compared to what you have to replace. Talk to somebody, what was it, Friday. Been with the same job for 25 years. He goes, my goal, Jeff, man, if I could just replace this. I go, what do you need to replace? He goes, if I could, it's $5,000 a month and I can replace my income. $5,000 a month. He's been there 25 years. He works 8 to 12 hours a day. Now he, doing this part-time, could replace a full-time income. See, it's all based on what you have to do. Okay. Now, if you have to replace 6 figures or six figures plus, right? You're probably going to have to put more time against it, or it's going to take you more time to get there. Okay. You thought the top earners in network marketing became wealthy because of luck, good timing, and not because of hard work. Okay. Guys, nothing happens easily here. Okay. Obviously, if you got a contact base and credibility with that contact base, and you have our very simple system, plus you add to it, okay, the desire and the support of your upline, it is a perfect storm. Because I'm just trying to get everybody in the mindset. I just want you to open up your contact base right now. We got you on the back end. That's it, because I can't get to your contact base. And as we help you get your first 2 to 3 or 4 people in the business, you start to say, I had somebody the other day say, got this, Jeff. Why? I did 4 3-way calls. He goes, I got it. And now the first 2 people, now he's doing his 3-way calls for his people. And I love what he said. He goes, it's just a mindset, right? People only believe what you tell them. You only tell them what you want them to believe, right? And that person's now saying, listen, I'm the expert. You guys want to be the expert? Just say you're the expert. You want to be a leader? Just say you're the leader and watch how people follow. So this is a whole nother thing we could go on later on this week. We'll talk about, okay, being a leader versus being a follower. You thought most of your family and friends, how many people thought this, would immediately join you in this business? Do you know 25 years in this business, not one of my family, not one of my friends is actively doing this business? Can you imagine? I go home, right? My parents live here. You know, they don't even talk about this. It's like unsaid. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. They don't even want to bring it up. Okay, now I don't care. I'm not trying to change my mom and dad and my sister. They are who they are. Love them to death. They're not going to do network marketing. Do you think I'm going to base my business? Let me ask you all. Are you going to base your business on whether or not your mom and dad do it? Can you imagine opening up a restaurant, and if your mom and dad don't come in every night, you say, well, this is not working. I got to close it up. You see how we think? Okay, it has nothing to do with it. You know what some people do with their family and friends? It's good practice. It's good practice to tell your story to. Okay, it's good practice to show you what might come back at you as far as negative comments or objections, because they'll give it to you. And the objections are always the same. So you learn, that's what I love about trade shows. You learn what people say, and you learn how to, right, maneuver. That's the business. We're in the people business, you guys. How many of you thought simple was the same as easy? What's simple to do is also simple not to do. And like I said, and you hear me every time I do a presentation, and I really mean this in my core. I've never seen anything where you could expose somebody through a 2-minute video. And a lot of people say, well, that 2-minute video, I've sent it out a lot of times. It's not working. Guys, you got to keep doing it. It's not a magical thing that hypnotizes people and people automatically join your business because they watch it. But you know what it does? It takes the wrong people out of the equation. Because if they watch it, okay, and you do your follow-up, I believe, and tell me if I'm not right, they're either interested or they're not. Isn't that half the battle? I just want to know if someone's interested. But you got to get into the hands of enough people. Okay, you thought there would be no learning curve in this business. Let me tell you the learning curve. The learning curve is not how to send out and copy and paste a video. The learning curve isn't picking up the phone and telling people you're excited. The learning curve is learning you. Once you understand you and why you've done what you've done, you'll be able to understand others. This is the business. I understand most of the time I'm talking to somebody else, I'm talking to the old Jeff. Because I know all the objections I gave Lisa when she first got involved in the business. Okay, I was the worst thing. I was the worst person in the world when she came home and after Dan May said, you know, and Dan May signed her up. And she put $3,000 on a credit card that night. I said, are you kidding me? Here's what she said. You want to hear my first exposure? We had a sampling concept. The whole idea was give away the product and people are going to want more. So Lisa came home and she said, well, I started my business. I go, are you kidding me? I go, is it multi-level? She said, yeah. I said, well, don't do it. She goes, too late, I did. I said, well, those things don't work. And she said, what are you basing your decision on? What are you basing your opinion on? You weren't there. And this is how firm, she must have been prepped. I knew she was being prepped because this was a different Lisa came through the door. Who are you? Because I could just imagine them sitting down with her going, listen, your husband's going to be negative, so here's how you handle it. You got to hold firm. I said, well, you didn't give him any money, right? She goes, yeah, I started for $3,000. I go, well, give me the phone. We're going to call this person back and we're going to get this, we're going to get this money back. She goes, no, no, no. I said, okay, you're going to get product for the $3,000. She goes, oh yes, it's inventory secured. I go, what are you going to do with the product? She goes, I'm going to give it all away. Did you guys catch that? Here's all I'm hearing. Multi-level marketing, $3,000. She's not going to sell it. She's going to give it all away. I said, that sounds crazy. Lisa gave away $3,000. She made $55,000 her first year. She made $100,000 second year, $200,000 her third year. Those were our first 3 years in network marketing. And I was dead set against it. See, the learning curve is learning how to deal with the negative husband. The learning curve is to deal with all the people out there that are stuck. So I wasn't saying no to Lisa. I was saying no to my situation. Because all Lisa represented to me was change. And I didn't want to change. You see, this is the business that you're in. You expect every distributor you sponsor, how many of you guys believe this, to be a self-starter? Right? They're just going to do it. Okay? No, we all know this is why you got to give people the right information. You thought you could do this business alone and not plug your people into any system. You got to make sure you're not the reason, guys. You got to release. You just got to let people go into the system. Okay, and the system of the simplicity, that's the easy part of this thing. Okay, don't keep all your people here. Let your people go. Okay, we got to see who wants to fly. Okay, and you just got to make sure you're plugging your people in. And I always tell people, match your person to the personalities of your upline. Okay, there's many times where people say, I have, like, for example, Bill Davies, who just won Grand Diamond. Okay, I sat down with Bill. I go, Bill, Okay, now you know me and Lisa's personality because we personally sponsored him. I said, based on the people you're bringing to the table, match your person to who you want to talk to. Because you all know Lisa's personality, you know mine. And so he matches the person, right, to the people he wants them. He matches the personality to the people. Okay, so just remember that. Because everybody has different ways of doing the business. Okay, you thought you could build your business and never leave your comfort zone. Okay, just go through this. You thought you could grow your business and not grow as a person. Tell me if you guys, if you're really taking this journey, are not different than you were 30 days ago. Are you kidding me? Okay, it's amazing. This is why I say you could hear this presentation. I could do it next month and you'll hear it completely different because you're taking the journey. You thought your upline sponsor would build your business. Okay, or how about this? You thought your upline sponsor would provide a power leg for you. This may be more advanced for you. Okay, I love this one. Okay, listen guys, I'm gonna take responsibility for my company. I'm gonna take responsibility. Do you know that we had somebody go Grand Diamond on our power leg last month? We put it, because they said, okay, put 5 people here, 5 people there. Okay, now we have a power leg, but we put another person on there that went Grand Diamond. Why? I understand the bigger vision here. We're gonna overrun that, and that will become my pay leg. This may go over some of your heads, but here's the bottom line. I'll show you this at the very end. You got to keep your teams balanced. We're going to be the reason we are, Lisa and I. We're going to be the reason we're not. We're really good at looking in the mirror because I've learned, right, the first 3 years, I would blame everybody. Okay, no, I had to take responsibility for my business. Okay, once you take responsibility and ownership, no one controls your paycheck. Okay, nobody's going to control my paycheck. I want to make sure, okay, hang on. I get, you know how I get distracted when someone chats with me. All right, so here's the 3 stages of network marketing, guys. And most of you are in stage 1. Let's just call it what it is. The stage 1 is it's not worth it. I'm putting so much effort into something. I'm not really seeing the results yet. If you don't get past stage 1, you'll never taste stage 2. And I'm just going to be very straightforward because this is Diamond Zone. 90% of the people won't make it out of stage 1. You might as well know it. Most people. Now, here's what I always say. Are you most people? Then don't worry about it. I had a guy one time years ago that stopped him. He was one of those guys that talked in the meeting when we did meetings every week. He goes, listen, multi-level marketing doesn't work. Most people fail. Okay, in the middle of the meeting. I go, well, I understand that, but let me ask you a question, sir. Are you most people? He goes, no. I said, then you won't fail. Most people fail. Duh. Okay, you just know your numbers. You know that's a fact. But let's define failure. Let's define financial failure. Would you say that if 75% of the people out there have to rely on family, friends, church, or the government in their retirement, would you say 75% people failed? If 23% after working their whole life have to go back and get another job, would you consider that failure? That means 98% of the people out there, okay, have to rely on somebody else in their retirement. That means 2% are okay. So if you looked at just your national statistics, you would say most people fail. Well, let's figure out why. Why? Okay, I'm going to go through why, and I'm going to tell you why we're so different. Because I want everybody to taste, everybody, it's worth it. Do you know your number that you would be making on a weekly basis where you would say, you know what, this is worth it? Got to have your number. If you have no goal, how can you possibly say if it's worth it or not? And then I love a percentage of you to get to this phase. I'm not worth this much. Okay, because we all have this opportunity. But let me share with you really what it's all about. And I love to use this, guys. Okay, it's a great visual. It's the penny a day theory. Okay, now let me share with you something. This is days. Okay, but I want you to know something. Days in multi-level marketing could equal weeks or months. So just put yourself in this. We're going to do months today. Okay, let's say you went out there, you're following the system, and you're sending out the text messages, right? And your first month, you got no results, and you made $1. What would you be saying at the end of the 30 days? Right? I did my goal, Jeff. I sent out 20 a day. I worked 5 days a week. I sent it out to 400 people. Nobody got in. What would you be saying? What would the average person be saying? It's not worth it. And a lot of people then quit. They don't even go to month 2. Okay, so let's say you made $100. And then the next month, you made $200. They're showing 2 cents. Do you see the point? You're going out there. Let's say after 8 months, you went out there and you made let's say $100.28 after 8 months. What would you be saying? This is not worth it. But see, you're not understanding if you're doing the right things for those 8 months, you're planting a lot of seeds. What a lot of people do is they walk away from their business before it harvests, before the big harvest. Now, if you're not planting the seeds, it'll never harvest. Okay, look at all this. You see the whole concept here? 19 months into the business. 19 months of working, $2,600. I promise you know what most people are saying? This is not worth it. But here's the key to getting to stage 2. No matter what happens, guys, now I'm not trying to paint this doom and gloom picture here because I'm telling you, okay, there's people here very quickly making a significant amount of money. I'm just saying anything you've ever done, okay, what's the key to getting results? In most cases, it's your vision of what you want to accomplish. You got to have this down, guys. What is it? And this is where I sit down with a new person. I go, what do you really want out of this business? Well, I want to replace my income. Okay, that's a good first goal, but we got to go longer picture, guy. We got to look at 24 months from now. What do you want your life to look like 5 years from now? I want to get people to at least be able to dream again. Get people saying what they want. They don't do this, guys. No one teaches them at their job to dream again. Can you imagine your job telling you to put together a dream board? No, they don't want you thinking you can have any more than what they're giving you. In fact, they want you to dream less. I remember when I was with Bally's, okay, and I bought a brand new Lexus. Okay, it was the Lexus sport car, first one in Denver. Okay, and when the CEO came, he goes, "What are you driving that car for?" He was upset at the car I was driving. Okay, and his mindset was, we're paying him too much. Do you see the different mentality? And you know what happened the very next month that I got that car? He raised my quota 25% more for me to make the same amount of money. True story. Okay, he goes, okay, you want to make that same amount of money you made last week, you got to increase your numbers by 25%. Crazy, right? See, your job does not want you to think that way. We do. We do. This is what drives people. And the key point to this, to getting to stage 2, is your association with a positive system, a positive environment. This is what Diamond Zone's about. We got you. I want you to know when you leave Diamond Zone every day that you are a special group, because you are. And I'm not just saying that, because most people rather complain about their situation than do something about it. Most people, okay, are not going to get up at this time and get on this call every day. You're not most people. So you're doing the necessary things to stay involved in this positive environment. That's why we're going to start to go on the road. That's why we're going to start to do more trainings, because I want to see and meet the people that are taking this journey. Because when the going gets tough, which it will, you got to be able to be part of something where people say, don't worry about it. They brush you off. They say, that's normal. Get back out there and do it again. That's the positive environment. But if you're not doing anything, right, there's nothing to grade yourself on. So you could be on this call every day, but I want you to take the information and go out there and do. Here's the problem. Here's the deal. You all got to embrace. You will hear more no's than yeses. Whoa, that's eye-opening, Jeff. Thanks for that. Okay, we all know that. You're going to hear way more no's. But understand, when you hear the no, we all know you're one step closer to the what? Duh. So stay in touch. Stay in tune. That's why we want you to have a good reading and listening library. Okay, so this is the key to getting to stage 2. Now watch what happens when you plant the seeds. Okay, look at month 20. Right, you worked your butt off. Now month 20, for $5,200 that month. Then all of a sudden, here we go. Here's duplication. Month 21, $10,000. Now you're saying what? It's worth it. Month 22, $20,000. Did you hear Jeremy's story? Okay, do you guys understand? Okay, he went from 20,000, he went from, first of all, driving Uber. Okay, I didn't realize when he sent me that text message that you all hear. Okay, I got a text message from Jeremy. I was working out at the gym. Do you know he was driving Uber when he sent me that text message? Do you know he went from 20,000 to last month making over $100,000? Boom! He said it was overnight because he was doing the right things to plant the seeds. Month 24, $83,000. So now you look at month 24, you go, oh, this is the greatest business in the world. But were you willing to go through the first 19 months of saying it's not worth it? You guys see? It's amazing how people will stay at a job, never getting promoted, never getting salary increases for 20, 30 years. Here, after 15 months or 12 months, oh, this is not worth it. These are the people that were, what is it, 3 feet from gold? Did you ever read that book? Month 25, look at guys. We've experienced this amount of money in a month in network marketing. That was our biggest month in the industry, in 1 month. But you know there's people that have made the rest of these numbers in a month in the industry. Now, people in stages 2 and 3, this is where you guys come in, are being paid for being willing to do what most people wouldn't do. What? Persevering, having a plan, working their plan. They are paid for staring down fear, ignoring fatigue, fighting loneliness, pushing through discouragement, and walking by faith. Well, this sounds horrible. No. Okay, these are people, entrepreneurs are people that are in a high wire act with no safety net. That's an entrepreneur. I will tell you this, guys, you learn this craft, you can never be broke. You learn this, you can never be broke. You could put me and Lisa in any company. We're gonna make it work. It might not be what we want because that opportunity has passed by. But how do you think we've stayed in the industry for 24 years? You think it was the different product? No, we understand the people business. That's what we do. We understand it. We know why people do what they do. We don't get upset when they stop the journey. Because guys, if people want to find a reason to quit, they will. Just don't let their reasons affect you. Well, you know what? I got my helo and I can't sync it. I quit. Okay. I can't get my helo to work. If they want to find that to be the reason, they will. Doesn't make a difference. Who cares? I understand that. I understand why most people don't do it. But I've also learned I'm not looking for most people. And I believe everybody has it within them. And if you believe in other people, I'm telling you that could spark them, because most people go through their whole life, right, just going through the motions. Here's what I don't respect ever. I don't respect when someone gets involved in something and doesn't at least try just to go out there and put themselves out there. Okay, who cares what people think? Okay, now, when you look at this business, okay, I'm going long today, but I don't care. Okay, the principles for success are this: consistent effort. Consistent, guys, put together your plan. If you're going to talk to and make it a point to touch 5 people a day, just touch 5 people a day. If it's 10, whatever your number is, just don't be inconsistent. I did 10 on Monday, and I don't do anything now till Sunday. Make it consistent, because without consistency, you're not going to have duplication. You got to have the realistic expectation. Okay, meet with your upline. Let them set the realistic expectation based on what you're willing to do. Like I said in the opening, if you're going to touch 2 people a day, okay, only 2 people a day, you can't expect to make $5,000 next month or this month. It's just not going to happen. You got to up your numbers. Success in network marketing, and this is so true, is more about tenacity than talent. That's for sure. Has nothing to do with talent. No matter what, I should add something to this. Do it and don't quit. Some people leave the do it out. I'm not going to quit, Jeff. But if you keep doing what you're doing, which is nothing, it doesn't matter if you don't quit. You got to do it and don't quit. Now, here's the good news. You determine what the do it is. No one's your boss. And based on what you're willing to do, let the person who brought you in tell you what a realistic expectation is based on what you're willing to put into it. That's all. See, there was somebody there with 2 kids. Okay, I forgot her name. She has 2 kids. She's on this call. Okay, she has her hands full. When Lisa, our kids were 4 and 1 when Lisa got started. 4 and 1. And she had her plan. And she had to work it around the kids. Right? But the person who brought her in said, this is what you could expect based on what you did. She had a realistic expectation. This is what's going to keep you in the game, guys. Wealth comes from depth. Wealth comes from depth. You earn money in network marketing this way. You get this way by going that way. Right? And I'm going to go through this. You got to have a lot of people here to find the people that take it here. Depth comes from duplication. You don't have an anchored line unless you take a line 5 to 6 levels deep. Some of you have been around. How many lines do you have that you've taken 5 to 6 levels deep? That's what you really got. Depth comes from having a system. We have that. Wealth is not accidental. Bottom line is the one who shows the video the most wins. It used to be most presentations. It's not even presentations anymore. Remember I said, if I wasn't in someone's living room or doing a hotel meeting 6 days a week, I wasn't making money. That was presentations. I used to do 4 presentations a day, every day, in 4 different cities a week. That's how we made money. 4 presentations a day in 4 different cities a week. When we say show the most presentations, get the video in people's hands. That's our new presentation. We all know the problem, be the solution. And here's the #1 thing you got to take to the bank. If you want to figure out what's wrong or right with your business, what's wrong or right, look in the mirror. Your answer is always you. And associate with a like-minded, positive environment. Okay, that's the business, guys. Now let me show you the secret here, and I'm going to show, and then we're going to close this thing up. Okay, this business, guys. People say, "Well, how do I get traction?" Okay, a lot of you have seen this, but that's okay. Okay, in a 6-month period, I want to show you how to build the right foundation for your company. This needs to happen in 6 months for you to get traction. Okay, 6 months. That's what that says. 6 months. You have a binary, right? You have 2 legs. So here's you, and you got your left leg and your right leg. You want to know how many people you got to bring in order to get traction? And the people that do this in a 6-month period, it's been proven. We proved it. We proved it, are making no less than $25,000 a month. Okay? Done in a 6-month period. And I'm not talking about looking at your power leg and your pay leg. I'm saying for you to be balanced, okay, and not leave your financial situation in anybody's hands. You got to put 20 people in left, 20 people in right. 20 people personally sponsored left, 20 people personally sponsored right. For you to get traction in your business. And let me tell you why. Because out of the 20, 6 to 8 people on each side, 6 to 8 on each side will do absolutely nothing. Zero, zilch. They sign up. You don't understand why, but they do nothing. Tell me you don't have some of these people in your group. Don't worry about them. These are the same people that join a health club and never go. These are the same people that start a diet and never complete it. Okay? Don't worry about them. Don't let them affect you. But they will affect you if they're your only 6 to 8 people. You follow me? This is how you work your business from power. If they're your only people you have, you're trying to make them do it. They're not. You can't make people do something they're not going to do. You're not that good. I'm not that good. I wish I could make people doing nothing do something. I want to try to keep them in to maybe lead me to somebody, but remember, I don't treat them any differently. It's just what it is. Now watch this. Another 6 to 8 on each side. And tell me if I'm not right. Tell me if you could identify some of these people in your group, or maybe you're one of these people. I don't know. These are people we call incubators. Incubate. These are people that not quitting, they might even be on the loyalty program, but they're just sitting there. They're not really doing much. They may come to the meetings. They may come to the meetings, right? They may send out the video to a couple of people, but they're really, you're not getting traction with them. They're probably even more frustrating to you than the people doing nothing. Okay, so 6 to 8 on each side will incubate. Now here's where you get traction, only when you get your 20/20. You got 6 to 8 people on each side that build it big. B-I-B. Build it big. These are people that set their goals. These are people that want to do their 20/20. These are people you start to get traction with. But the only way it happens is if you put your 20 people on each side in a 6-month period to get the traction. So you can't go 1 a month for 40 months. you won't get traction. So you got to have this all-out massive action. That's why we say we're going to launch you. Okay? And then out of the 6 to 8, you'll see it. You'll see it happen. You'll have 1 to 2 superstars. And you'll set the foundation at $25,000 plus a month to set the foundation for financial independence. Now, I always tell people, you want to know if you're getting off to a good start? A person getting off to a good start will put 12 people in their first month. Now, if you're not doing this, I don't want you to get discouraged. I didn't do, so what? But at least you know the answers to the test. There you go. Now we say, right, what do they say? 5 team developers left, 5 team developers right. It's the same thing. But see, a team developer is someone that we call here building a big, 6 to 8 on each side. Can you imagine if you had 6 to 8 team developers left and 6 to 8 team developers right? Okay, but see, here's what people say. Well, Jeff, I have 10 people. Well, that means you got to bat 100% to get 5 team developers. It doesn't work that way. A third do nothing, a third incubate, and a third go to work. But now let's go one more step. Reverse engineer people you have to talk to get your 2020. These are people getting involved. So how many people do you got to talk to or send a video to get your 2020? See, isn't it good to know you know the answer now? Who cares what it is? Would you go through 6 months, and if let's say your number was 300, would you send the video out to 1,500 people to get your 2020 if you knew that was the magic? If I said, here's the number, I will promise you, I'm going to deposit $25,000 a month. We're going to sign a contract for life. If you get this video into the hands of 1,500 people, would you do it? Everybody's going to say yes. Well, I can't give you that number. Don't know that number. But the only way you know your number is to work your numbers. Right? We know because we've improved our skill set. Lisa and I have to talk to less people to get better results. In the beginning, I had to talk to a lot of people. But now, since we know what we're looking for and we're driving business deep, right, I don't have to talk to as many people because we've improved our skills. So at the end of the day, guys, right, just to be straightforward with you, it's a numbers game. So what? If you work for somebody else, you're running numbers for somebody else in some aspect, some form. Here you're doing it for yourself. Okay. So I went long, but everybody stayed on. Okay. This was realistic expectations. Okay. It'll be on the back office. Anne-Marie, thank you for sharing. Okay. Remember, guys, Vegas, Denver, and tonight's call. Tonight's call at 6 o'clock Pacific. Appreciate all of you. Go out there, get your number, and hit your number today. Talk to you soon.